Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Totally Oblivious. I am your host, Caleb Perez. Happy Halloween, by the way. I am here with my co-host, Alex, and my brother, Colby. And my niece, Mariah, is somewhere over here. I don't know if you can see her.
She dressed as MySpace.
I dressed as MySpace.
Can you tell us about MySpace now?
This neck's all broken.
Anyways, I guess I can ask, how are you guys doing?
I just got off of work. I'm tired. I'm literally sleepy, bro. This punch is bitching. Like,
Colby, how are you doing?
I've been with you all day. You should know.
That's true. I assume you're doing good.
It's October. It's cold and scary.
We just got done watching ghost videos, so she's scared. That's why she's on the podcast. She didn't want to be alone. She left her baby by itself. Her baby's brave, but she is not.
apparently.
Anyways, spooky season. I'm going to take this off. Grant,
No, you gotta keep it on.
I got to keep it on the whole episode?
No,
for at
because
least a little
the audio's
longer.
gonna sound
Okay.
weird the whole time.
Okay.
Just don't do it.
It's
Why
just-
is Red Dead on the screen now?
I played Red Dead on you.
I guess.
funny from my perspective?
This just feels weird.
What do you mean? Wearing
It's also very, very hot in here.
yeah, you're breathing into your face.
Help me, please. It's taking over.
What are you trying to run away from some Enderman, bro? By the way, if I sound super quiet, it's nighttime, bro. I'm just
so funny
stating
from
this
my
for the fact.
perspective.
Oh, wait, how much you pay for it then?
How much did I pay for this?
Yeah.
For this?
Yes.
Well, the pumpkin itself was like $50, but I got it on sale.
Oh my god. That's fucking highway robbery. That's spooky.
It's the spookiest part of the
I
season.
got it on
That's
sale. How much
I paid.
was it for?
How much was it for?
I got it for like 30,
Oh.
You were robbed. That's like
Yeah.
$5.
but it's worth it. It was
I guess
worth
it'll
it.
last forever. You'll always be a pumpkin
This
head.
costume is now complete.
I think you'd look better with like some overalls and like some boots.
I'm not trying to be the Chainsaw Massacre guy,
He wears a leather face.
though. I think it would. You do have a point. It would look better if I had like a scarecrow outfit or something.
That would work.
Just something more rustic. But I didn't
Next
have
year we
time.
should dress up as Batman villains.
Are you gonna dress up with that pumpkin head for like another time, or because you spent like $30 on
Yeah, you have to put your use into it, honestly.
Yeah.
just 3 minutes
I was
of recording.
actually thinking about becoming like a vigilante and then using this as
just
my
smash your head.
vigilante
My
costume.
$30.
Yeah, yo, that's on you, bro.
I mean, I was thinking about this earlier today that Halloween's the perfect time to become a vigilante because you just can go
You're
and
all
buy-
dressed up as bad people. You just be beating up everyone.
Jesus Christ, Colby.
Look, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. What you got to do is incite justice.
I feel like you would beat people to an inch of their life and they'd still die.
Wait, I think that means beat them to death.
No. You would beat them, then you would leave them, then they would die of their injuries.
I'd be like, wait till the cops come. He's like, I don't have time for the cops to come.
The internal bleeding.
Internal bleeding. I need a hospital now. Too bad. I go off into the night.
No more.
Rip
take
off
it
his head. Rip it
You're
off.
stuck like that forever.
It's the Goosebumps episode. Oh no.
I'm gonna be real, bro. I've only probably ever watched like maybe 1.5 Goosebumps episodes and
Really?
one book.
I think I watched the whole first season and like The Haunting Hour. She's right.
At least you'll always be happy.
What?
I said, at least you'll always be happy with that head stuck on you.
That is true. There was always a smile on my face.
What do you? Okay, now you're just Joker, bro.
Let's put a smile.
You're
on
just the Red Hood in an alternate costume in a video game for Halloween.
Right.
It's the Halloween event.
Right. This is to sell more toys.
I guess.
I mean,
You know what's weird? There's not a pumpkin themed Batman villain, is there? Like I wouldn't count
I know there-
Scarecrow,
I
but like
saw there's a Marvel one. I saw the toy for him, but I've never heard of him before.
Yeah,
He's like Jack-O-Lantern or something.
yeah, he was Venom's Well, no, he was Peter's for a while, then became one of Venom's enemies for a while when Flash had the symbiote in the comics.
You know, I'll explain why I did this costume. I've always had a thing for the design of Pumpkinhead characters.
Why?
I just really like that design of just like a pumpkin head and like they're like a demon. I don't know. It's just one of those character designs that just get me.
Like get you hard, or like what do you?
No, I mean like I think it's cool.
Oh, okay. Total different wavelength between us.
I was like, Caleb, why'd you spend that much on a pumpkin head? And he's like, well, think of all the money I'll save buying not real pumpkins. And then he comes home with like 4 real pumpkins the next day.
Jesus Christ.
What can I say? I like pumpkins. I like Halloween.
Halloween's like my my 4th favorite holiday. Maybe a 3rd.
Holiday.
What's number 1?
What the? Whoa! There's kitties.
Oops.
Asshole.
I did feed them. Liars. You lie, cats.
I don't think the mics are picking it up, but there's cats outside.
The cats from the last episode that I disowned, flashback to me disowning the cats. I want a black cat again. I miss having a black cat.
You literally have 2 cats outside right now.
You have 2?
They're not black. I don't think they're mine either.
Okay, and then the thing ends. Yeah, apparently they're back.
Yeah. Anyways.
Favorite holiday? Probably Christmas. 2nd favorite, my birthday. 3rd favorite. It is a holiday for me. I take it off every year.
Technically, I'm the one who could say it. Me and Colby can say our birthdays are holidays.
Why?
Colby's President's Day. I'm Memorial Day.
2 of the most mid-ass days of
Not even
America.
mid, it's the lowest.
It's just a day off.
I guess. Nah, for me, I always take it off, so it is a holiday. I think, 3rd would be like, I don't know, St. Patrick's Day when I get old enough.
St. Patrick's Day.
Not even
You're
Irish.
not Irish.
I'm not even Irish, but I'll
You're
drink with
not
them.
Irish.
And like 4th, probably Halloween.
Cool.
Or something like that.
I truly wonder how this is going to sound. If this sounds very weird to anybody, I'm sorry. This is my life now.
Take it off, bruh. Like there's just 7 minutes of audio of you just. Man, this ain't an ASMR roleplay, brother.
It's like the Ace Ventura Rhino scene.
It's Edward Scissorhand.
Why didn't you dress up as Edward
Ace
Scissorhands? That would
Ventura
work.
Rhino scene.
Like you just get a wig and you'd be fine.
Right, Johnny Depp's here.
Johnny Depp. Why does everybody call me Johnny Depp? Every single place I've gone to, somebody
you've
said
always
I'm
looked more like
Johnny Depp.
Markiplier to me, but okay.
Hello, everybody.
He's short with the
Arby's.
Arby's?
Who's Arby's?
Oh, at Arby's, they called me Johnny Cash.
You don't even
But
look like
not
him.
because of my looks, because of my voice.
The Ring of Fire.
I was like,
The Ring of Fire.
At Arby's, I was like, I hurt myself today.
You know that's a cover of a song.
Is it?
yes.
Yeah, that's
I did not
his.
know that.
9 Inch Nails was
Yes,
the first one.
his cover was so good. The songwriter for that for 9 Inch Nails says, "Nah, bro, that's his song now." He has full ownership of it. Like you feel like destroyed. It made me laugh when I heard that. I was like, no fucking way.
Imagine being that great of a musician that people just give you their songs because you just did it better.
Colby knows
Trent
how to make
Reznor.
lemonade.
He's not a musician to scoff at either. He's good.
Who?
Yeah?
What? Who?
Trent Reznor,
Who's Trent Reznor?
9 Inch Nails artist.
Oh yeah.
He's
I'm not
so
a 9 Inch Nails fan. I just know faces.
he's so popular that Nintendo named a Triceratops after him.
That's true.
What? This is lore I don't know about.
On
Mario World.
Mario World, there's those Triceratops that are on the wheel. Have you ever played Mario World?
No,
That's true.
I don't like Nintendo.
He did play Super Mario. You played Super Mario World with me.
Did I?
Yeah, when I first got the Super Nintendo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then we were just farming one-ups pretty much for like an hour straight.
Yeah. I remember that.
Good times.
Good times. We were like 14, 15 or something like that.
Yeah, in like mid-high school.
Jesus, brother.
Used all my savings to buy that. Hello?
Who's it right now?
Mariah's scared.
Are you scared, Mariah? Her face is just utter shock.
You shouldn't be. You're on scare tactics.
What?
Scared.
You never seen that show?
No.
Hmm.
I'll be honest. I don't really like delve into like spooky stuff unless it's like some YouTube video. Honestly.
It's like a prank show.
Oh.
It was stupid usually. Had a lot of midgets.
What are you? What are you doing?
Try to get to my notes for this episode.
Oh my god.
So yeah, a while back though, I guess we'll get to the nitty gritty of the episode already. A while back, I promised we'd get more in depth on the Bunnyman story, the
Mhm.
story that my dad, that was his story to tell, and he somehow forgot it. He even took a break to remember it and came back and was like, "Oh, the Bunnyman."
Old age gets you.
Apparently.
The old age hits too hard. So it's more than
No, Mariah, you can't say that.
can't say
No.
dogs.
No.
Oh no, Colby, do you want to tell that story?
No, I don't.
Okay.
There's lore here.
He fought dogs.
Just imagine just.
Not like him, like dog fighting. Like he was in the midst.
This is
of
the
fight.
scenario: 2 dogs and like a rag doll, and they're just kind of like whipping around. Imagine a rag doll.
And this all happened while I was trying to have a nice, peaceful little vacation.
Wow.
I can't go anywhere without bad things happening. That too.
Are you superstitious? Do you believe in full moons and stuff?
Sometimes it depends. I don't know. I work for this lady who she claims she's a witch, and I love this lady. She's the nicest old lady, but she very much believes in that stuff. Like she has like a copper kettle that
Mhm.
she'll put outside during like full moons when it rains to collect moon water.
No, you're lying.
No, like for real. Like she's so cool, and like she has like an altar where she like records the moon phases, and so on every new moon she'll like, because new moon supposedly has like the lowest vibrations,
Uh-huh.
and she'll like record her 5 goals for that month for the
Mm.
next full moon. I was like, oh man, I should try it, but this full moon or this last new moon was like crazy, like beyond crazy. Like Ulysses and I were at a stop sign, and there's just like a car accident right in front of us. Like I was about to
That's
turn, and
true.
2 crashes just happened right in front of us.
The hospital.
then-
Go ahead.
Like, I don't know, my dad and his drama came back in full circle. I was like, yep, something's going on with the moon. And then I walked into Fred Meyer, and there's like this old lady on the floor, and I was like, that's strange. And she's just like
Peculiar.
getting rushed into an ambulance when I came back with my groceries out. I don't know what was going on. That was just like in one day. I was like, I thought this full moon was supposed to be low vibrations, but okay.
It's
So-
true because at the hospital, it's like always crazy on full moons. Usually.
Because full moons are supposed to be higher vibrations, so crazier things happen on full moons. But new moons, that's
I'm a
when you're
man of
supposed
science.
to like really
I am too,
think
but
into
like
yourself. But if you think about full moons, like it can lead to science because like
ocean
the moon
waves.
yeah, exactly. It controls the tides. So
I'm not a
who's to say
seaman,
that
though.
The energy, because we're very sensitive to energies and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, someone's panicking in the room, you're gonna pick up on that. You know what I'm saying? So who's to say that we don't pick up on any other energies? Like,
It's true,
Technically,
Alex.
we're
We
all
are.
connected.
Mariah's had this argument. She must have been talking to the mirror by herself years ago, ready for this. There's no
I'm a
way.
stay-at-home mom. I think about it.
She apparently does. Mariah's just that girl, bro.
What else am I gonna teach my kids?
I don't know. What are you?
I always get headaches on full moons. Like bad.
I
headaches.
won't lie. While I don't truly believe in the whole full moon thing, I do think that a lot of stuff. Maybe you can even look at this historically. Like a lot of weird shit does happen. While I think it is coincidental, it is kind of odd. Usually, it's always happening around that time.
Yeah. Like I said in the last episode, people just will act crazy when they see a full moon.
I don't think they act it. I think it's just like
They truly believe that something's happening. So some people will be more inclined to do crazier things.
I think it's just because it's just the end of the month, though. Like at one point, it's just like throughout the whole month, like something's been ticking at you, like maybe psychologically speaking.
this
and then
was
just
like the 14th.
the first dance renewed. Or I feel like that. Like it gradually just depends on the person. Like at one point, at some time, you just break, and I feel like most people just break at the end of the month. It's like, all right, Next month is November. I don't give a fuck.
It's time to party.
But it's the same with seasons too. Like I remember being on
Seasonal depression and stuff.
that is real, especially
that
living in
is real.
Alaska. But like when it comes to summer and like you're in school and stuff, and all the kids just start fighting, and it's like super hot, and everyone's irritated, and they just want to get out of school. It's like the same emotions with that, but like subconscious.
I think, yeah, that I agree with. Just how weather and the seasons work.
People just are interesting. They just do weird
I think
things.
animals kind of follow the same thing
That
too.
is true. We are indeed animals. She's
Dude, have you ever heard of the arguments people have with that? Like, we're not animals. I'm like, how stupid are you? I had to hold back there.
He had to backtrack.
I know. I was like, hold on here. How dumb are you?
I don't think we're insects, bacteria. What is it? The forms of life.
Prokaryote?
Yeah.
What the hell's a
I don't think it
prokaryote?
would be insects,
Eukaryote?
or bacteria, or plants,
Isn't it fungus?
fungus,
Isn't it fungus, mammals, reptiles, and
Rock?
rock. Well,
rock? What are you, fucking Geo,
I
dude?
guess I would kind of.
What are you, an onyx? What are you, a fucking Pikachu? Things are named after him, but
He's
so
a rat.
or like what's a rock type mouse
Diddlo,
Pokemon?
what's
Ditto?
Ditto?
Ditto's a normal type. Oh,
Rockruff.
that is true.
That's my dog.
You fucking up that ice, bro.
Huh?
You fucking up that ice.
You like it?
Yeah. Well, you made mine super sweet, but I like it though.
Colby's little elixir that he made.
It's drugs.
Those are so good. I love when he makes those. It's like lemon lime.
Have you ever thought of becoming a bartender? I feel like you'd be like a perfect bartender.
Nope.
Really, my cousin's a bartender. Apparently, she makes all of her drinks super strong, and even the hard alcoholics in my family just don't like it.
You don't even have to be a bartender. Like people pay $5 for a 12-ounce drink at Starbucks. That's not even good.
That's shit.
Yeah, that's very true.
You just make a good logo
What am I
and
doing?
slap it on a cup, and you got yourself a drink.
You're gonna be doing this whole episode.
This is very hard.
I want to be a cowboy.
Well, today's your lucky day, partner.
No, like for real though. Like I've always had the fantasy. If I had to live in any time period, I'd love to be in like that 100 years. Not 100. I think it's like less than that. Like 100 years to be a cowboy. Because I've always loved the song "Ghost Riders in the Sky." I'm like, bruh, you know how fucking high you have to be off a cactus to see that type of shit.
There's a lot of time periods that I'd like to experience. Like even like ancient Greece.
Bro, I'd love to live in the American Revolution with like my
That
full
is so
knowledge. I'd
true.
go full Assassin's Creed 3. I'd have to. I'd be like
I
Connor,
think
bro.
that's our entire knowledge of the American Revolution just revolves around Assassin's Creed 3.
I don't know how many times I completed that game.
You
I
li-
just love Native Americans. So ever since I was little, I mean, they didn't have the best.
Did you like
history,
Prey,
so I
though?
don't know if I'd want to go back to that. What?
Did you like Prey or no? Did you not watch Predator
I don't
movie?
know. I liked it, but it was a lot. I don't know. It's just like I don't care for sci-fi, to be honest.
The baby's crying. It's a ghost baby. Oh, I liked it.
I want to say something real quick. I don't get scared of anything really, but that baby sounds like on Silent Hills
or Resident Evil 8.
Resident Evil 8. That was a good part. Have you played that?
I've never played a Resident Evil game.
Alex doesn't really play survival horror.
No, I've
Oh,
never.
yeah, like
That's never been my.
But Resident Evil 8, that's probably one of the better ones, in my opinion.
Get scared by my own baby. Like sometimes I'll be feeding her, and I'll just be like living my life, and then I just see eyes staring at me. I'm like, oh, geez. I'm like, oh yeah, because she has eyes, and she's right there. She's a baby. They're pretty big. I don't know. Sometimes she's scary. Maybe it's
Another
I'm
life
used to
form
having
that you
babies.
live with. Oh wait, hold on. Since I can ask this question, how does it feel to have another life form made out of you?
It's kind of cool.
Is
I
it?
don't know. Like I'll just talk to her, and I'm like, "Am I a cool mom?" And she doesn't say anything. I'll be like, "That is a yes." But sometimes like you can't get anything done. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna clean, do the dishes, and I just end up holding her all day and watching Lilo and Stitch, which is kind of nice too, because I have like excuses to watch Disney shows.
Dude, you know what? Low key though, when I was younger, I used to fucking love. What is it? Not Sleeping Beauty. Fuck. What's the ones with the slippers with the shoes? Someone remind me. Cinderella. I fucking love Cinderella, bro. When I was younger, I was
I don't
like,
know.
this shit
I like the
bangs.
funny ones. We were watching Mulan, And like growing, like watching it now, there's a whole story behind it. Like even when I was watching Lilo and Stitch today, when I was little, I never caught the idea
TV show was gas.
that he was like illegally creating life forms, and that's why he was like they're trying to get Stitch back to like kill him pretty much, and they like sent him out, or they're trying to kill him, and he like was able to escape because he's like this
Mariah with
extreme
stories.
life form.
It has a plot.
Yeah, I know. I just like, where's Lilo and this whole, like, where's the fun part? So you never pay attention in the beginning. But I was watching it today. I was like, what the heck? Like, there's a plot.
There's
like,
a plot.
illegally making life, and he's like this evil scientist.
Why was it illegal? Did they ever explain that in Lilo and Stitch or no? Because isn't that kind of weird? Like, because wouldn't it just be, maybe it's because it technically it classifies under slavery? Maybe, depending on the context.
Well, because they were like, maybe we can reason with this life form, and then he like said something in Alien, and everyone was like,
I think
he's naughty.
I think the reason why they did that and why it was bad that he did that is because he made Stitch and all the other experiments to be like weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah,
They were designed to destroy planets.
Well, I mean, it's not like we don't do that here. It's like MK Ultra.
That is true. Wait, doesn't that mean like Stitch is a planet buster then? What power scaling? I'm going to use my knowledge? No, I'm not going to be a nerd here.
Stitch, isn't he like Kirby? He's indestructible.
Is he? Damn.
Well, I don't know. They were like, maybe we can hit him with this plasma, and
Depending on there is like nerdy shit when it comes to plasma. So if he's able to tank it, and he can like Stitch is kind of crazy then, bro.
He did blow himself up in a pool of lava and came out unscathed.
Damn,
I'm sure
that's kind of
no
hard.
way to. I remember playing rock paper scissors with Caleb when we were little, and he would bust out the antimatter. There was no way around that.
No, it's easy, bro. You just pull a Morpheus and go God. Oh no! I take it back. He did pull God, and then he got beat with Lucifer. Hope.
But that's when it's God made out of matter.
I don't know. Lucifer just beat him with Lucifer.
I don't know what's the matter with you.
Pizza, get out of here.
Pizza.
Is it true the hospital's haunted? My mom used to.
I have not seen anything at the hospital, but I have seen and heard a lot of things at the clinic on Pioneer.
I don't know.
Yeah, of all places, it's very weird at the clinic, but hospital, I've walked around everywhere, don't feel anything.
I have have I ever told a paranormal story from the hospital on this or no?
I think once.
Have I?
Yeah, I think you told one.
Said you were gonna punch. Was it Melissa?
Yeah, I think it was.
Someone came out, you were-
Oh no! At the clinic, I meant. Have I ever told that one?
Oh no! I don't think
So yeah, you agree. There's something weird.
No.
at the
So
clinic.
I don't think I've ever explained this one. So this was my first day working at the clinic here, and the girls had said, or Pam said, "Wait here is that one break room." Sometimes, but not the EVS break room, but the actual
Second
break
floor?
Yeah, and said, "Wait here." And I don't know if they pranked me or anything, but I sat down and they're just, scrolling through Twitter, my, the not safe for work posts. And all of a sudden I hear like a distinctive 3 knocks. And then 15, 20 minutes pass and the girls show up. We're like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like,
No joke. The first day I was there too, I was finishing that computer work in the EVS break room. You know how behind there's the lockers? Mm-hmm. So I was just on the computer, doing my stuff, and I heard a locker slam behind me. I was like, "Oh, I guess someone's behind me," but I didn't hear. The door was closed, and that it's to that ladder, the ladder leading up to the roof. I didn't hear anything. So after about a minute, I was like, "Is there no one behind me?" And I checked. I was like, "I swear I heard a locker."
Isn't that door really heavy and creaky?
Yeah, you can hear anyone that comes in, anyone
girls
that
are
comes
loud
down
usually.
the ladder. I just heard the locker close, and I was like, and I thought there was someone behind me, and I didn't want to look around, So I just sat there.
Oh my
and
god!
I was like, I didn't hear anything.
Who eats? No, man, you gotta not.
I have a lot of stories about the clinic.
Almond Joys, man.
I don't know.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like you think, be like, I died in this hospital. I'm residing here now. I'm not like, oh, the clinic. This is they have a coffee shop here. It's a little bit
that's
more
what I've been
modern. Unless, I don't know, that was a field for the longest time. So, like, on the ghost show, it was saying something about, like, either they brought it in from, like, past, I don't know, maybe it's
Someone left
some
their trauma
patient
there
was
and
like,
never
I'm
picked it
bringing
up.
this Ouija
That's
board
actually
in.
what I think.
Some what?
Someone
Someone left their trauma there and didn't
It's
pick it
because
up.
there's a specific room.
Scary.
I feel it's the.
Is it on second floor?
Was it called
Podiatry?
the pedos?
The
feet?
penis? What?
The pedo.
The pedos?
The the Frito. Was it podiatry? It's not
went through 4 different words.
Podiatry. I ain't taking my kid there.
Is that what it is? Podiatry?
I think it
with
should
the
be
feet?
podiatry.
Isn't that childcare?
Yeah, that's
That's pediatrics. Okay, so it
Oh.
is podiatry.
Yeah.
I believe.
yeah.
Well, I don't know my
That-
dietary is in atrics.
That doctor's room in the corner. Do you know what I'm talking about? Why the water?
Yeah.
Way in the corner. There's something there. And actually, okay, you know Nina. She is terrified of the clinic.
Apparently, she is.
And I told her this story, and she does not want to go on 3rd floor at all. But I was taking a break on 3rd floor in podiatry, and I kept feeling something. Like I look, I'm like, man, I feel like something's like always watching me. And I was just on like the MA's chair. I was just eating snacks and on my phone. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna test something out. I got out the TikTok and that one filter that kind of sees
Nah, you're lying.
the rainbow people that are like, you know.
no.
Nah, you're lying.
I pull it out and I don't even, I don't think I'm gonna see anything.
Wow.
I don't think I'm gonna see anything, so I don't record. So I'm just like testing it out, looking. The chairs are like float, flashing. And I go around the hall looking. I'm like nothing, and then I look in the room. And I keep seeing a chair. Like it's weird using that app because nothing flashes rainbow.
Mhm.
But then when you get to like a specific furniture, like they flash. I was like, that's so weird. So I keep like looking in that room, and it's just that chair always flashing.
You
And I'm
removed
like,
my armrest, you bastard. You bastard.
and then so I go back and forth, and I look, and there's like a little kid figure like right in front of my phone, and I'm just like looking at it, and it's just like gone. I'm like, what the heck was that?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a
I don't
little
like
kid
that.
figure. Okay, what's even better? When I'm
Mhm.
telling this story to Nina, and she's like, "You're lying. There's no way."
Was this was this when Nina was there or wasn't
Yeah,
there?
she was there.
Okay.
And
Like
she was
sweaty.
she was freaking out first.
She's shaking, bro. She's shivering.
She first was freaking out about the basement. I was like, "No, definitely there's something there. I feel like something."
My grippers are gripping, bro.
Are you a little shaken up? Yeah,
Colby
the
will be
basement.
fine.
Oh, because it was because I was working there the
Zoom in on that
weekend.
shot.
I was working there one weekend. You're by yourself when you're there the weekend.
Oh yeah, bro.
I was just walking in the basement by myself, and went through the elevator,
Mm-hmm.
about to go into where the supplies are, and I hear footsteps behind me, and I'm like, and I don't think about it. I'm like, oh, there's someone behind me, but I don't hear him anymore, and I get to like the supply room, and I turn around, I'm like, there's no one behind me. That was weird, because you always feel like someone's staring at you in the basement room.
In that hallway.
Yeah, so
That hallway's super fucking creepy.
I told
I
Nina
got bad
that.
vibes from it too.
I told Nina that, and she just freaked out. And so and she's like, "You need to tell me more." I was like, "You're gonna get scared." So I told her the one about the podiatry.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy is like, cause Amber works on 3rd floor all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So Amber comes down without even knowing my story. And Nina asks her, "Do you ever see anything, Amber?" She's like, "Oh yeah, there's like a little kid in podiatry." And Nina just freaked out. She's like, "I don't want to go there anymore."
I'm not going there. I'm going to Confluence now.
No,
Sponsored by Confluence, but they don't have ghosts as far as I know.
thinking about it, here's the thing. How do I explain this? I'd love one day on this podcast, I guess, to continue the spooky storyline, quest line we're on with this podcast. We have to get one of the native people to explain like the area of Moses, because I feel like at one point there had to be at least one racist guy shooting natives here, at least once.
I
Like
do
there
think
has
that's
to be some
most
type
likely.
of bad energy. or
I'm
something.
pretty sure the Arby's I worked at was like built on a Native American burial ground, because just bad things happened all the time while working there. It was just no rhyme or reason why. And like there's been a lot of like weird occurrences. Like I'm a bit of a skeptic, but like there's just a lot of weird occurrences that I can't explain. Like
we have a weird childbirth thing here. There's like a lot of people, like for our hospital or whatever, because I know this. We have an above average childbirth. It's really weird. So maybe there is some type of thing going on.
It's super weird, but I remember one of the biggest things to ever happen that was like super, like I could not explain it, was I was sitting in, I don't know if I told this story on the podcast, but I was sitting in 6th grade history class, and we're taking a test where we couldn't get up. So I was just in my seat, and I finished the test, and I just started drawing my Milo comics, and all of a sudden I feel like somebody's behind me, and when I turned around, I turn around and I see this woman.
Was she
this
hot?
blonde. I don't really remember. I remember she's blonde and she was a little older, and
I think you're just describing an old teacher, bro.
well, here's the thing. I turned around, and I saw her, and she like smiled, and I was like, huh. And I was like, wait. I would have heard her come in the door, and also that's not my teacher. And I turned again, she wasn't there. And that's not the only thing that happened at that middle school. There's just bad vibes
From
all
Frontier?
Yeah,
Well,
bad vibes all around from.
if you know your
if you
American
know your
history,
you know what happened. But nobody liked the I described. Well, also it was a high school before that happened too, so you don't know really what happened prior to that. But that basement though, if anywhere's haunted in Moses Lake, it's Frontier's basement.
I never went down
Frontier's
there.
basement was bad. We went down there for, I think they were having like a haunted house, or there's something I went down there for, and like it was just bad vibes.
Like genuinely fear.
Like, genuinely, like something is off when you go down there. Like you can feel it.
I can't say that joke.
Oh no!
I can't. I feel too emotional. But like,
yeah, it's just super. It's like the same feeling. I always got this feeling at Harvest when we were closing, that in the back room, up in like the boiler room area, it was just like something was just off up there, and they always sent me up there because the thing that was always
somebody. Not to interrupt here, but yeah, it's always been weird. Because I remember one time, this was in the winter. This was probably about a few months before I would quit, and swear on my mama's life, I'm outside grabbing carts and the fucking freezing ass and the freezing ass cord.
you do a Fortnite dance.
I saw her one time. Anyway. Oh my god, no! But I saw someone. So you remember that RV park is right there, and that fence in the back where the strip mall is. I swear to God, I saw somebody walk across there, and like I fucking went on full Metal Gear mode, and I'm like I'm corner peeking on the far side of on the left, and I'm all like,
You're like knocking.
anybody there? Oh no, kind of. I'm like that, and then I go say,
Lit a cigarette.
someone's selling crack
Kinda
back
fun.
here. I should be able to see him on the other side. So I do a 180 and I go on where we used to park the cars on that back entrance. So I went over there and I had to like sneakily do it, and I leaned over. No one was there. I'm like, that could have been a person trying to sell their drugs, get their hustle. I'm not gonna diss on them, but that could have just been some random ass fucking entity, bruh.
Yeah, that Harvest just had some weird vibes because the thing was, the reason they'd always send me up to that boiler room area is that's the area where they had like the sound for like the PA system and like music playing throughout the store. Well, for some reason, that system the music would either start blaring randomly or would just shut off completely, and no one would understand. Yeah, just like how we're talking about in the garage, that the radio just would one day just turn after we turned it off.
Just that one day.
But yeah, just that one day. But at Harvest, it did that on multiple occasions. And anytime me and our buddy Trayton, we'd go up there and check it out, the dial would still be in the exact same spot where we left.
Is it old? I won't lie. With some older like
Well,
radio
Harvest
equipment.
isn't a very old store though.
Not
Yeah, me and Ryan were young.
well. It depends on the equipment because the equipment can be old, but the store can
I
be
guess
fine.
so, but it was just super weird because it was like, no matter what we did, it was like consistent. Like at night, it would always do it.
Yeah, it's always been there's always been some sketchy shit. I swear, like I know being an anime nerd's weird, but like there's always concepts in like some anime shows that are more like supernatural. And so like there's this weird common trend with humans, like more active places people are, there's more like active things that occur, like really coincidences.
So like a couple of years ago, like my life completely changed and like my viewing of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And like is so much that I actually started reading about like spirituality and like quantum physics books and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the
I'm gonna make you scoot.
this. So one of the things like I've learned from reading all these things and
Oh,
researching
my ass is in the middle.
is like energy always like exists. So like what I've even figured out with like dad, like he has like a negative, he's like
his
presenting
vibes aren't
out-
positive, man.
Like
He's a good
brings-
person, but like he has like something weighing on
Like
him.
he brings himself down and it like
and
manifests
that,
itself.
yes.
But
And-
not to sound like a rock girl, but it manifests itself. I've seen it. It happens.
So
Bucks in my pocket right now.
Dead ass. Dead ass.
It's a rock
Right now,
girl.
show me. Right now on camera.
I think they're in my diaper bag. But I have some tiger eye. And I was gonna give some to my friend because I just was like, I have like opal, rose quartz, clear quartz. I mean, they're upstairs.
What is this,
so-
Steven Universe? Sorry, I have to be a dick.
I was talking about that today though, because like the reason why crystals are like so.
Yeah, why is it a trend right now?
Well, first off, I think
Caleb, you might as well
mostly
give her the mic. She's about to go on a rant.
at the lowest form of the energy, at least it's a manifestation. You know how people tie like a string on their finger to remember things?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it's more. It could be like a form of like, oh, I have this. It's like kind of like the placebo effect, you know. But it's more like it works if it works. You know what I'm saying? Like you have this rose quartz, and you're like, oh, I have this. Feel good about yourself, and you want to believe it, so you actually do feel good about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or like,
Like subconsciously, like it'll just like
yeah.
I get it.
But people do say that like, oh, this has like it's the purest form of the earth, and it has like I saw this TikTok video, which is weird because I'm not on TikTok, but it's like this dude has like 2 clear quartz crystals and he rubs them together really fast and they start to spark because they have that energy in them, but they don't get warm after. Like it's just crazy stuff like that, depending on what it is. And stuff.
Yeah, science. Freaking bad.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like the thing is too. I'm a man of science. I feel like that too. But the thing is, with a possible infinite, I said this on the last podcast. With an infinite universe, there are literal infinite possibilities. Like,
Yeah, that's what's scary. But if you think about science too, like I talk to my husband about this all the time, and I'm gonna be completely
married?
off because yeah,
She has a baby.
a baby doesn't imply marriage. You have to. I'm just
this is
saying.
Moses Lake. But
I didn't know this. This is new lore.
so there's 3. I don't even know them in order, but like with one of Newton's laws, like the best way, I don't even know it word for word, but the best way I could explain is like if I move this pumpkin and I put pressure in it, the amount of pressure. I
Oh,
put in goes
the
out.
equal force
You know
and
what I'm
whatever.
saying?
Yeah.
So it's the same with energy. Like energy is part of this universe. So the more energy you put into something, and same with like that applies with daily life. Like you put energy into your work, and whatever energy you put into your work, you're gonna get out of it. You know what I'm saying?
literally, I think that's the problem with this world or country right now is you don't really study energy and stuff like that. It's just like
You study why elephant and donkey and which one's better.
because other countries.
Dude, I didn't get that joke for at least 5 seconds, and it just clicked.
I
was like,
still don't get it.
You don't get elephant and donkey.
Oh, the parties. Okay.
That's crazy that their mascot's a fucking donkey. Could have been like a horse or like a bear. It's a fucking donkey. Why is it an elephant? Why did they choose an elephant? Anybody know their lore here?
I don't know, and I don't really care either.
Yeah. Bum ass party system.
Yeah.
Based parliament. But not the parliament now. Apparently they're asked to. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like
so-
that though. I feel like there's a lot of mysterious things. Like I recently got into figuring out that there's like certain like antimatter, dark matter, and exotic matter are all three completely different things with different properties, and we're just like, yeah, we have to make up like literal like made up numbers to figure this shit out. I was like, oh, okay, so we're just making up ideas.
That's all energy and vibration.
Yeah, it's like it's all
So
like,
it's like a thing that is not even taught to us, and
Yeah.
like you literally have to research it and read yourself to like find out about this stuff.
It's like- it's like that-
honestly, I didn't believe in any of this stuff about 2 years ago, and I start reading it, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense, and I start connecting like the dots and stuff. I'm like, okay, that makes sense too. Then why that works?
it's like the one fighting game chart. So like I just want to mash
As a
buttons.
detective.
And it's just like the dumb
Right.
Mojack the middle. You have to know frame combos. Like he's a nerd, and then like the elites. I just want to mash buttons.
I'm mashing buttons.
It's literally that. That's all. It's literally that. That's the people who don't believe in science. You know, man, spirituality on the other on the opposite end, scientists probably exists. It's like, okay.
That's literally me though. It's like
I fucking love that for
like me.
Literally me.
Science, like I have to have scientific proof, but like when
It's just
you
like, nah,
read
it's made up.
when you read about like spirituality, it ties with science, and you're like, okay, that's pretty crazy that these people are saying this before this, like the
Yeah.
person who came up with it in science was saying it. Like, okay, all right,
science
maybe this is a thing.
Science is bitching, bro. No, I like it. There's a lot of ideas that aren't really crazy once you kind of get into like to compare it to like an iceberg. Once you get into the bottom of the fucking iceberg YouTube video, it's like, oh shit, all the previous ideas don't seem that fucking cracked.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Also, like science is just proof. So if there's ever proof on like all this stuff, it's science then.
yeah, it's interesting. I
Very
guess how long have we been? We need to get to the Bunny Man story. How long have we been talking for?
40 minutes.
Jesus Christ!
We've been going. It's a spooky episode, and
I
it's going to
guess.
get more spooky. The night's going on, and we're barely getting to the Bunny Man story.
What,
So
Mariah's like,
Mariah's scared.
two 7
So
her booties.
here is.
My baby to protect me.
That is true.
Well, you know what the crazy thing is
That
now?
is one
The
strong
baby's gonna
baby.
think of you to protect you or hit it.
Partnership.
It's a partnership. Does the baby make you stronger?
Protect
Is
each
it
other.
like how's that work?
Yeah, I guess.
You get a power boost.
Yeah.
Uh,
I thought about that. Sometimes I'm like, if someone came in the house right now, I'd probably do anything that I could to kill them.
you're a good mom. All right, get to the Bunny Man Bridge. Apparently, your dad gave us a false story.
The Bunny Man Bridge. This is the urban legend of the Bunny Man Bridge. The population of Fairfax County, Virginia grew after the Civil War, and eventually an insane asylum was built there. Residents were appalled that the institution had been constructed and no one wanted to live nearby. Such a fuss was raised in the town, and since the local politicians decided not to oppose the public outrage, the institution was shut down. The administration transferred the patients to other facilities in 1904. The process was completed. During the transfer, some of the patients escaped and hid in surrounding woods and forest. These individuals were mentally lost, delusional, and dangerous. Most of them were found except Marcus Loster and Douglas Griffin. The local authorities found a trail they believed belonged to them, littered with half-eaten mutilated bunnies. The trail led deep into the woods to a tunnel bridge crossing a wide creek. They found Marcus there, hanging from the tunnel entrance. There was a note attached to his foot that said, "You'll never find me, no matter how hard you try. Signed, the Bunny Man." That tunnel has been called the Bunny Man Bridge ever since. The legend says that if you walk all the way down the tunnel at around midnight, the Bunny Man will grab you and hang you from the entrance of the bridge. Strange deaths and phenomena have been... It is around midnight.
It's literally 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, it's past midnight.
it's almost a haunting hour.
It's around midnight. Strange deaths and phenomena have been connected with the Bunny Man Bridge. There was a young man from Clifton, Virginia, who came upon the bridge while traveling. Later, he killed his parents and dragged their bodies into the woods to hang them from the bridge before he killed himself. In 1943, 3 teenagers, 2 men, and a young woman were at the Bunny Man Bridge for Halloween night. The 3 youths were found dead, hung from the bridge with their bodies slashed open. All 3 had notes attached to their feet saying the same thing: "You'll never catch the Bunny Man." In 2001, after hearing the tale, 6 local students and a guide searched the area. They found mutilated bunny parts during their search and left the forest after they heard noises and saw figures moving around into the woods. Many think of Springfield as a happy DC suburb. What many...
Simpsons?
No, that's in Oregon. It is in Oregon.
Simpsons?
Yeah. Simpsons takes place in Oregon.
It supposedly takes place in The Simpsons, or in Oregon.
Well, I just read something today that there's a restaurant that they reference in The Simpsons that is
Matt Pat
exclusive
figured
to
it out
Oregon.
before.
That is true. Good job, Matt Pat.
Watch a video on that. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
What many people don't know is that Lorton has a dark secret. The Bunny Man is a man dressed in a white bunny suit who carries a hatchet. In most of Virginia, he is known mainly as a person who just scares kids, but in DC, he is a well-known murderer. The legend says that after many exploits of attempted murder and acts of vandalism, he was pursued by police all the way down to the infamous Bunnyman Bridge, where he was hit by a train and cornered by authorities.
Fucking loser.
Some say he is a psycho that escaped when a mental asylum near Lorton was demolished. His 10 companions were found with their heads severed and fresh carrots stuffed into their mouths. And that... Fresh carrots. He grew his own carrots to put in their mouths.
Kinky.
Yeah. Kinky.
Had to be.
But that is just the urban legend. So, looking more into this, there's a man, a sleuth, if you will, much like Colby. He was a man of...
He was a drunk.
He was a drunk,
drunk.
a man of science, a Mr. Bigwood of Virginia. And he...
Didn't Mr. Bigwood come from Virginia?
Did he?
I think he did. Did he not?
He
This-
was obsessed with
Is that your
area.
teacher you're talking about?
Yeah.
No,
it's
our English teacher.
This guy sounds like a Van Helsing. You guys.
Oh
always
no,
talk
no,
about.
definitely. in a previous life, he had to be
Honestly-
a witch or a warlock. Had to be.
I never met him.
Mr.
but my
Bigwood's
friend was
bitchin'.
always like,
Such a cool
"Oh,"
teacher.
I showed him a picture of like someone like grinding weed on a cheese grater or something. And he said something funny like, I'm gonna get a tattoo of that, or I don't know. That's probably not what he said, but
Gosh, Mr. Bigwood is such
The
a
Glock and the
great
porno in his
teacher.
desk.
Just the name, Mr. Bigwood.
But, like,
He was so raw, bro.
Whenever I have my internal fantasies of being a 1920s detective.
He was always there.
As I would. Mr. Bigwood was the guy like in like an ascot, like with a robe, who had like a mansion in the library, and he had like a pipe that he was smoking.
you too.
His name was Mr. Bigwood.
Everett Bigwood.
Woods or something.
No, Bigwood.
Bigwood.
Really?
He is a Bigwood. Had to. There's no way. There's no way with a name like that you can't have Bigwood. He had a double tree entendre for a name. There's no way, bro.
Yeah,
Like naming,
cool
you know, you see
teacher.
those like big dudes, and they name them like Tiny or something.
Yeah, had to be.
Sonic or something.
Yeah, had to be.
but like he literally talked like
He was
a
also
scholar.
like he was also partly British. Had to be.
He
Had a
to
British
be.
like British like What are you doing, bro?
Why does it always
forgot my
start with the
fingies.
asylums? Actually, I could see that because it's like high activity. I worked at, it wasn't an asylum, it was more of a, there were people that weren't good enough to live on the streets, but they weren't bad enough to live in an asylum. And it was like my first, I
You
think
want
I
me to
even
help
went for
you,
like
or
an
like-
interview or something, and like there was a lady in a wheelchair that was just like, help, I didn't do it. And I was just like, oh, I'm going to cook for these people. It was a whole ordeal. I really liked them. I was like, I'm going to train to be a CNA. And
I thought you just said I was gonna train them to be dogs. I was like, what? I was like, no way. You're gonna about to become a Batman villain.
I wish. Oh no, they were cool. There was this guy. Well, I signed a HIPAA agreement, so I cannot release his name. But he would just come, and he would never. They said this man lived off of chocolate milk and chips for 10 years. And
Michael?
he just went. He had no teeth. He would just come, stick his hand out, and make some noise because he didn't have teeth. You know, he couldn't talk.
He'd be meh.
And you'd be like, "Oh, dude's here. Let's give him his chocolate milk." And that would happen at least 3 times a day. Sometimes he wouldn't eat for a couple days, but
He had a different hangout spot.
I was the cook there, so I would like go through their names and stuff, and then we're like, "Oh well, he's not gonna eat. Just give him his chocolate milk, and he's happy." I mean, but that place was definitely.
I've heard some wild stories though with schizophrenic people.
Oh yeah.
Really crazy.
Yeah, for sure. When I worked at that place, that was like, what's that game called? No.
Evil Within.
Evil Within.
Yeah.
Imagine having like a second person within you though, like multiple
I've
personalities.
thought about that. That's a child, but in your brain.
Like having like somebody that can like. Well, I don't really know. I've never experienced it. Like I mean, like having like a second personality, but like to have like a full on like another person that's documented and be like, yeah, he doesn't know the.
Like a split personality?
Yeah, basically like just having like somebody else there and just occupying it with different like mannerisms and stuff. And there's like actual cases where somebody's like studied it. Like, no, these are like two different people and they don't act the same.
Like on Psych.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have that on Psych.
That sounds so like fucking like really creepy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, because I'm sure they like, it's like on the episode of Psych, he like doesn't know the other personalities really exist, and like he thinks he's haunted by ghosts, so he's just constantly living in fear.
I can see where that's like some sort of like melancholy feeling with that, because if you're with this imaginary person but you don't know is imaginary for the longest time, and you like take medication to never, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like eventually you'd get attached to that person. You know what I'm saying?
You think he's just a homie?
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking Moon Knight. Hey yo, bro, switch out real quick. Hey yo, let's go.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe you wouldn't. I guess it depends on your condition, because then you're just not aware of it. But
I know. I think in some cases it's hard for the other person to believe, like the main personality is like, oh, there's another guy here.
I don't think they even notice. Well, I mean, I'm basing this all off of a sitcom, so.
No, but in real though, it's kind of like like the main person will have like a tough time like dealing with it, because they're like, oh, there's just like another thing. It's really the human brain's really funky.
I have a lot I could say about that, but we're too far in,
I think I would understand. Like, I think I was about to say it, but I don't think. Like,
If you were to have
I
a second
thought the same
personality
thing.
though,
You're thinking the same? Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with like. Well, we can
do a whole episode on that kind of stuff.
we'll eventually bring a psychologist.
Colby has a whole lore on that, but there is still a little more on the Bunny Man to finish this off. So this is brought to you by the real life historian archivist Brian A. Connolly. He did his research, his due diligence, and he has the real life origins of an urban legend. So as we just read, there is a story that a man dressed as a bunny haunts the residential neighborhoods around our nation's capital. Silly as this may sound at first, the Bunny Man has been a fixture of local legend for at least 30 years. By 1973, the so-called Bunny Man has been reported in Maryland and the District of Columbia. His infrequent and widespread appearances tended to occur in secluded locations and usually tell of a figure clad in white bunny suit, armed with an axe threatening children or vandalizing property. By the 1980s, the Bunny Man had become an even more sinister figure, with several gruesome murders to his credit. Although he has been reported as far as south of Culpeper, Virginia, his main haunt has been the area surrounding the railroad overpass near Fairfax Station, Virginia, frequented by partygoers, now the infamous Bunny Man Bridge. And we just read the legend, so I'm going to skip this part. Was the Bunny Man a murderer?
Probably.
The aspect of the story which gets the most attention are the alleged murderers. Researching the historical crimes can be very difficult unless you have some basic facts to begin with. Since police records are not available for casual review and court records are indexed by the names of those involved, not by location or type of crime, I had to begin by checking the local newspapers. The tool has provided the most valuable of Fairfax County Public Library, blah, 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 blah.
Sounds a lot like, what's his name? Wayne Gacy? Sounds like a lot like his story, where he just dressed up as a...
If that guy.
Oh yeah.
All those murders, I don't like him.
You know, he had a fucking Marvel cameo in the fucking Jeffrey Dahmer show, bro. That shit was goofy. Yeah, and like they were bringing up. No, like dead ass, bro. Like he showed up on frame or whatever, because I think he died before like Dahmer started going like crazy.
No.
Or whatever.
I didn't watch the series because I don't feel right watching that with my child who doesn't understand. But they said that the time that Dahmer got baptized was the same time that DC got the electric chair.
Yeah, it was something that like there was like a goofy ass like.
It was a full moon on that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We're going to get to the nitty gritty here. So, here are the alleged murders done by the Bunny Man. It would be hard to imagine a more disturbing event for a growing community like Fairfax than the gruesome murders of 37-year-old Frances Holliber and her 8-month-old daughter, June. On Thursday, February 24th, 1949, Mrs. Holliber and her daughter drove to Fairfax County in the company of her estranged husband, Charles. All were residents of the District of Columbia. Charles Holliber later told police that they had come to see the new lodge at a nudist colony, which Holliber belonged. Oh, wait a minute. Upon leaving the lodge, the car became mired in some mud. The couple quarreled, and Mrs. Holliber took the child and walked away from her husband and never returned. Charles Holliber spent the night in the car and got a ride back to Washington the next day. He returned with his brother-in-law and a friend to retrieve the car, still finding no evidence of his family. The police were finally notified. An intensive search of the area was organized involving Fairfax County Police, Washington detectives, and Boy Scouts.
What?
The Boy Scouts are searching for this missing
Damn, bro.
mother and
The
child.
wages for the police. What does the Scooby fucking do?
Do I get my mystery and ink badge? No.
What badge do you think they got for that? Fucking murder?
The
How to tie a knot?
tying up loose ends badge.
I guess.
Like an Xbox achievement.
Oh, right there.
Gold rush.
Good job, kid.
About 5 o'clock p.m., the searchers were about to give up for the night. One of the detectives noted that the ground on which they were standing was very soft. Both mother and daughter were found in a shallow grave next to the lodge, less than 200 yards from where Charles Holliber's car had been stuck. Frances Holliber had been beaten and shot once in the head and once in the heart. The baby girl had been buried alive.
So he didn't have enough balls to, or somebody didn't have enough balls to be like, nature.
I feel like that's worse.
It is. It definitely is.
I was thinking about that on the way here. I was like, crawling through like coal miners. How do they do it? I can
Money.
do it. Yeah, I was gonna say. I guess if you give me money, but full circle again. Being buried alive, or just like being in a tight space, like the movies, where like crawling through like the air vent. I couldn't do it. I'd die up there.
Mariah's mission ends right there. As soon as she has to go through a vent, it's done.
I'll sacrifice for the team.
Local community shocked by the brutal murder of the crime. Blah, 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 blah. Pretty much, that really had nothing to do with the Bunny Man. I don't know why he included that here.
Because how did they die?
You skipped over a sentence, you fool.
Okay, fine, I'll read.
Paragraph.
Fine, I'll read it. The local community
You're
was
almost as
shocked
bad
and
as your
horrified
dad.
by the cold, brutal character of the crime, especially when the investigation identified Charles Holliber as the main suspect. Holliber later confessed to investigators that he had planned the murder for 3 weeks and had not intended to report the disappearance of his wife, but changed his plan when the car got caught in the mud.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he did it. Number 2, Minnie, Loretta, and Catherine Ridgway in March of 1927. The available newspapers record many murders, but few shocked Fairfax like the ferocious and senseless attack on Mrs. Minnie Ridgway and her 2 young daughters. Mrs. Ridgway lived with her husband and 3 children in Telegraph Road in Alexandria. Sometime in the morning on March 4th, 1927, a man later identified as Louis Borzig called at the home of the pretext seeing Mr. Ridgway. Upon finding that he was not home, Borsig attacked and beat Minnie Ridgway into unconsciousness, then likewise bludgeoned her daughters Loretta 7 and Catherine 5. He then stole money from the home and fled. The crime was discovered by a neighbor who heard moans coming from inside the house. All 3 victims were taken to Alexandria Hospital, where Loretta later died. Catherine Ridgway lived another 8 days before succumbing to her injuries. Minnie recovered and was able to identify the assailant, who was known to the Ridgways. Bozerg was arrested at his home and transferred to the jail Winchester for his safety. Louis Bozerg was executed for the murders of Loretta and Catherine Ridgway July 7th, 1927, just 3 months after his horrific crime. So, once again, sounds like he's not the Bunny Man.
But I think the what's it called? Denominator here is that they're trying to say that, or imply, if you will, that there's like a entity that like possesses them into doing these things? Because I'm pretty sure that's like what I've heard is with the Bunny Man story that I don't know why I'm making you hold this for me. That they're like, oh, all this crazy stuff happened, and when you go down this area, it like possesses you into doing some non.
Bro, these things are so entertaining.
Imagine trying to pick your nose with that. You get a nosebleed. Okay, well I guess you could try it. But
Thumbnail. This is for the thumbnail.
looks like Freddy Krueger with the.
It looked like Freddy Krueger.
How does he even
Gay
look?
Freddy Krueger?
How do I look like gay Freddy? Like how? Okay, how does Freddy Krueger not look gay with the long ass his long ass claws? He's literally doing this in most photos. Like, there's no way.
I don't know. I think
It's just because
the,
he looks like a
I think
fucking.
it's just the way you do it.
Fuck you, bitch.
Anyways, I'm gonna skip a whole chunk because it seems like this guy's not getting anywhere. He's a terrible detective. Fact versus folklore. After nearly 8 years of research, I finally got a solid lead. November 11th, 2000, Washington Post ran an article highlighting an interesting collection called the Maryland Folklore Archive. From the 1950s through circa 1990, students at 3 Maryland universities collected, researched, and transcribed numerous local legends. This material has finally come to rest in the holdings of the University of Maryland. 1973, University of Maryland student Patricia Johnson submitted a paper filed "The Bunny Man." This paper was compiled as a part of coursework for a class entitled Introduction to Folklore. She interviewed 33 students from Prince George's County, Maryland, ages 15 to 18. Mrs. Johnson relates that the tale met all of the qualifications of an urban belief tale. Specifically, it takes place in an urban setting, existed prior to her project, and appeared in print as truth. She goes on to state, included in this collection is an article from the Washington Post, which verifies the story as truth. This was an important claim as I had found no primary sources to date, and I was extremely frustrated to find that the page containing the referenced article was missing from the original paper. With any hope of quick resolution gone, I had turned to examining the paper itself. Johnson's informants told 54 variations of the story. A rough tally revealed the following. A, 14 different geographic locations are mentioned. B, 18 involve the bunny man chasing or frightening people, usually children, with a hatchet or axe. C, 14 tell of attacks on cars. D, 9 claim he attacked a couple parked in a car. E, 5 accuse him of vandalism on homes or buildings. And F, only 3 mentioned a murder.
Okay, but why for the children with the hatchet or axe? So doesn't this take place under a bridge in a street?
Supposedly.
So why are there just children walking around?
Because underpasses are cool, kids.
So I think this is where things start to get interesting. So based on the widespread geographic locations and the significant variation represented in the tales, Johnson concluded that the bunny man was an urban belief tale. In short, the bunny man did not exist.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So this secretly was an episode of Aren't Real. This world is shrouded in mystery.
Yeah, I saw that Bigfoot. He was yay high with a buzz cut and some dingleberries.
And the unexplained. I know for certain that a poltergeist had something to do with my wife's death, even though she did have it coming. I'm here to tell you, no, it's not. Well, Bigfoot is either fake or a coward, and for his sake, he better be fake. How is it that people continue to report paranormal experiences, but never have any substantial proof? Sarah Johnson, if you're the demon haunting this house, you have my full permission to kill me. I'll tell you why. I'll show you why. These things aren't real.
And this was wait.
Let's talk about
I was about to
the southern states that Alex loves.
Oh,
Well, I could get through. I guess I'll just highlight some of the things that they specifically noticed. But yeah, pretty much the bunny man. It's just mass hysteria is what they find out. Is the car report is actually like they pretty much drive into an open field, this couple, and they're about to do some
we're gonna
untoward
fuck.
acts.
Oh,
So it's like
It's like when there's a serial killer, but there's never a serial killer, but
Sleepy
the people
Hollow.
thought there was. Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
Except the bunny man didn't get resurrected by a witch. He just wasn't real. But this couple drives into the field, and they're met by a man who they believe is the bunny man. But when they look back on thinking about how he was dressed, he's wearing all white everything, and they
The top
saw
hat.
a white thing going up, like a white mask.
What you're describing to me is just fucking Gandalf with a wife.
No, Mariah's right. He was a KKK member.
Had to be.
It doesn't matter if he was dressed as Jesus. Like I would, if I'm somewhere and someone's walking towards my car, I don't care where I am. I would just drive away.
That is true.
I drive into them.
Drama, like being in a car while someone's walking.
Well,
Just drive away.
they were snuck up on while doing untowards things.
Oh, they words run them over.
why is that? That seems to be their thing for most
steel
of those
car
killers.
is-
Even the Zodiac killer did that.
Like sneaking up on them while they're
Yeah.
being
Maybe it's
untoward.
because I like
that was
to.
his thing.
That's just
Alex
slasher
is
villains.
witness to this, where I like to analyze people.
Mm-hmm. I've
He's
seen this
probably
happen.
he's probably just jelly. He's like, oh yeah, I can't get that kind of fun. Oh yeah,
He did that a lot. That was just kind of his thing. He just
I mean, he was
Yeah.
also a KKK member, so his morals are already through the
Was he?
toilet. Yeah, I just said that.
He's dressed as like
he's
he
a
had the-
KKK member.
Oh, you're talking about. I thought we were talking about the actual.
Oh,
the
Zodiac, no.
killer.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
he's a terrible person.
He also dressed like that, didn't he?
No, they okay. Potentially,
He's, like, dead.
they think they found him on like Facebook or whatever, but he like died like 6 years prior.
Yes, the Zodiac killer's Facebook.
No.
page.
I can't really go in depth like this, but they had narrowed it down, and one of the guys they thought from all those years ago was him. So they're like, "Huh, we'll open the case file." Turns out, oh, he died like 6 years ago. Never mind, case closed.
Yeah, that's pretty much
So
what
yeah,
it was.
but apparently all the people that knew him were all like, "Nah, he did it. Like it was him."
Wasn't that wasn't it the same guy that they predicted that it was on the Zodiac movie?
I think so.
That's
yeah.
kind of what they implied at the end of the
Man.
movie, was that they knew it was him.
Yeah.
I don't think it was someone stupid like Nicolas Cage or something. Like
They said it was Ted
Oh,
Cruz.
Ted Cruz.
But yeah, let's just say Jake Gyllenhaal is probably the best detective.
If I was
Good
a
job,
woman,
Mysterio.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
He's just a cartoonist too.
He's a cartoonist. What a
Jake
good guy.
Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I'm scared.
That means we did a good job this episode.
I don't
Even-
know if anything could top Serenity's story.
Serenity's story.
Apparently, Serenity's
super
story's
crazy.
banged. Apparently.
I mean,
Like I have some.
Wait? That's a good thing to ask her. So you're a part of the woman of this clan. Have you ever seen any spooky shit like that or
Oh,
not?
many times. Well,
What? Oh,
not
now,
like
now okay.
that.
This is
So,
this
like-
is your part of the story.
I've had one time where I was on a house. We lived at a house over here, and I was doing the dishes or cleaning or something, and I turn around, and there's this woman that like it's like a lot like what Serenity says, that you don't see that they're like dressed, but she was like red, like she looked bloody, and her hair was like matted and short, and like she just was staring at me all crazy looking, and
When was this?
I was little. This was at the E.5 house.
you never
At the okay, I know.
I've
I
never
remember
heard
this.
And
now.
I just looked at her, and I looked away, and I looked back, and she was gone. And I just went back, and because the living room was where Cassius's baby room was, you know. So my dad was like watching TV, and I just
Hey,
sat next
you
to
know-
him. I don't remember if I said anything to him or if we had just like waited 10 minutes and was like, "Yo, I just saw." a
So
ghost."
that's a common trend. The females always see some type of female.
just them
entity.
apparently. Did you hear about Serenity said like they went to like a psychic or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and it's actually specifically them.
So with your daughter, in like 15 years time, we should ask this question again.
Oh no!
Oh, and
I
if,
don't
and
even
if she
wanna
and if
know.
she says yes, it's real. It has to be. There's no
Well,
way.
it's like I remember one time too, because at my grandma's house, she lives over by like Home Depot and stuff over there. But my brother was little, and she has like this loft area that has like.
I have to drive
bars
home
and
in the
stuff.
dark after this while it's raining. I just realized
Just
that.
FaceTime Caleb the whole time. I don't know. I feel for you because I'm scared too. But she or I heard my little brother like run up the stairs really fast, and then I saw like a kid wearing a blue shirt like turn the corner, and I was like, oh no.
Oh, it's Steve from Minecraft, bro.
I was like, I need to get my brother, like he's gonna fall off the balcony. So I run up there and I go to get him, and then I see the little kid like run towards the corner, and then I hear my little brother downstairs calling for me, and I was like,
That happened a lot at Nepal House, our first house that we lived in.
This is before Caleb.
My
BC?
bedroom, yeah, I was like 4 or 5. Everyone was scared, terrified of the room I slept in was my room, and like I could feel it. When I went to bed, I would shove my head in the corner of the bed because I did not want to turn. I could feel something was right there in the closet,
Just like staring you down.
not like you. Do you ever have that like the sixth sense where you're like, oh shoot,
Or like
something is looking.
the weird like, how do I say it, like the predatory instinct, like fuck, I'm being watched, kind of like.
What's crazy
Yeah.
is like I've actually like that sense has worked for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I'm at school, like I have that same sense,
you
and I
got a
turn real
fucking
quick
spider
and someone.
sense?
Yeah, I have like a weird sixth
okay,
sense.
then Peter Parker.
you don't feel that?
I do
You
sometimes.
never have
but
that where
but it's
you
not that
feel
keen.
it, and then like you turn and someone's actually staring at you.
Not when people are around. When I'm by myself, and it might just be hysteria or like just me just being like I'm just trying to psych myself out, because I can easily do that to myself. People can't really do that to me, but if I'm talking to myself, I'm like, bro, I don't know, man. This seems kind of sketch.
I don't know. So he's like
That's when I'm alert.
making eye contact with someone. at the
Yeah,
store.
definitely. You feel when someone's staring at you, and then you turn and they're staring at you.
I don't
always
really
have that happen.
I really
Well, that's
don't.
the feeling I get in this
Mhm.
room as a kid, and I just know I just bury my face in the corner. I do not want to look in that corner, but then the toys start to turn on by themselves, and
Damn.
that's when it's like, okay, as a kid, I'm just like, I'm out. Like I remember one time, just like this, and the toys would turn on, and I was just like, nope, and I just beeline to my parents' room. I was like, I'm not sleeping in there. But my siblings would also tell about how they would hear my mom's voice,
Mhm.
and they'd like answer to it, and she wasn't around there.
Mhm.
And she's like, did you just call me? And she was like, no, I didn't call anybody.
That's the worst, honestly. When like you think somebody, like your mom called to you, and it's like
No one did.
no one actually. did.
I was witness to that too, where
Well,
we didn't have him
This actually
back
happened
then.
to me one
Yeah.
time. This is probably the last time I could say something paranormal has happened to me. Was I was sleeping one night, and it was like 5 a.m., 4 or 5 in the morning, and I was in like deep sleep, and I just hear like
Caleb.
clear as day. It was just like Caleb, like if my mom was whispering in my ear, Caleb, and I wake up and I look, and I was like, Mom. I look around. There's nobody in my room. The door's open, which I'm pretty sure was closed when I went to sleep that night. I looked around and I was like,
When I lived at Chris and Yvonne's house, like I never felt anything bad there, but I got sleep paralysis a lot. Like I remember, like I would think I was even like dreaming about. You look kind of like the dude from Death Note, but definitely wasn't. I
Oh,
thought he was-
Ryuk.
Yeah, there was just like some gray dude that was just like.
Oh, that's
there.
down low, bro. That's an alien, dude.
And I could not. Yeah, the grays. No,
No.
it wasn't a gray because it
We
had like
come in
black. It had like
peace.
a black shadow around it. I don't know.
I've always seen shadow
Ru-
things. I think
Ru-
that's
I don't
my
know.
that's my spiritual.
But I remember trying to
entity.
wake myself up because I knew I was dreaming, but I could not wake up. Like I was like in my sleep. I'm like, but I wasn't sleeping. Like I could see the wall. I'm staring at the wall, and I'm like screaming and trying to like wake up. But I know like I'm not making a sound, but I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Mhm.
Chris's son, because like the room was weird. Like you have to go into his room to get into my room, and so I was like worried because I even woke up. I was like, "Did you hear me like yelling last night or anything?" And he's like, "No." But I don't know.
I've had
happened a
like
couple times. It was like the same week I want to say too, where I just like trying to do everything I could to wake myself up, and I'm looking in the room, and I don't remember if I saw the thing in the room or if it was just like a JPEG image or whatever. But I don't know. I had, that was like the first and the last time that I've had like sleep paralysis like that, where I just like am terrified and trying to wake up, And it just, I don't know. That's why I'm like, sometimes when I'm scared, I'm like scared to go to sleep because I'm like, what if something
What if you don't
happens
wake
to my
up?
kid and I can't wake up myself up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's rational. I feel like I've accidentally gave myself sleep paralysis once because there's a chemical in your brain that will numb you.
Like lucid dreaming?
It might have been. My brother apparently had the ability to do it, but then he's lost it for whatever reason. I don't know. Ask him. And I've done that to myself where sometimes when I wake up in the morning, like this morning, for example, I woke up around like 10ish. I'm like, damn, I could have slept for another hour. So sometimes I'll just like out of like sheer like, I guess things I do in the morning, I'll just play like a YouTube video to wake myself up, and sometimes that's what I do. But in this morning, I didn't do that, and I just woke up and I'm like, damn, I went back to sleep. But then I'm like, damn, I have to actually get back up. But then I open my eyes and I'm like, oh, I'm not moving. I'm currently looking at my wall, huh? And then I kind of like, it up. I'm like, oh, I gave myself accidental sleep paralysis there for like about a few seconds. Like, I couldn't move. It was really weird.
You ever have dreams where you're, like, awake? So, like, I'll have dreams that I'll, like, wake up, and I, like, go to school, and I have this day at school, and then I wake up again, and I'm like, oh, man, I didn't even go to school.
No, mine are always fantastical. I'm always doing something. It's never mundane.
Like, I don't know. It never happened this... Well, I mean, because I don't go to school anymore, but I would always have dreams where, like, I go to school, and I go to a couple classes, and then I just wake up midday, and then I'm like, wow,
I'm pissed now, bro.
Yeah, like
I was just at school. Now I'm going back.
That happens so many times to me. Like, I'd literally go through all of our classes, talk to every single person, and then I'd wake up and it'd be like, oh, I'm late for school now.
Yeah.
It was always late
when you
for
try
school.
to sleep in, and you're like, I don't know, maybe in your mind you're like, okay, I'm gonna wake up. Like maybe you're playing your day, like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do while you're sleeping. I don't know, but that does happen. Even I feel like that happened to me at work. Like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to work today,
That's happened to me for work.
and I'm.
I think
go
that
to work, and then you wake up and you're like, well, I just tried to rest by not going to work, and I went to work in my dreams. So.
I think that has to do with the anxiety though, like not wanting to mess up.
The brain is powerful.
The brain is very powerful.
Did you know we barely started learning about how the brain functions in like the 90s and 2000s?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
That's
still
crazy.
don't know why we dream.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I know why we dream.
Multiverse.
And I was like, what was the point of that? Like that was a stupid dream. Like I can't even recall.
There is a lot of like jumbled stuff.
If
that
you
your
think about
brain-
it, only up until like, I'd say like maybe the past like 300, maybe 200 years, we're like, our bodies are pretty funky, don't you think? Like barely.
Well, sometimes I sit there and I think like dinosaurs were only around 60 million years ago. Like you think about it, that's not very long ago.
In
at all.
the span of the universe, that's like 2 seconds.
Exactly. Like that is not very like.
Big. It's weird. In all honesty, when it comes to like medical science, I always bring this up, but thanks to the Nazis, we've barely learned anything. Like they were literally, in all honesty, the starting point to a lot of like modern stuff.
You know what's kind of sketchy though?
Yeah.
Is all these medications come out and all the community is like depressed.
Big
Too. Like,
pharma.
I have this huge theory that the Salem witch trials happened because back then when like I watched the whole video on like the witch trials and it wasn't like, oh, you're a witch, like it was like a disease, like they didn't like you, and
Yeah.
it wasn't
Hysteria.
just women, like it was everybody.
Yeah, I know. Everybody got it.
Yeah, it's like they
But that
would be
was
like,
the
you're a
f-
witch.
but the thing
but
was,
if you think
though-
about it, like my husband, he has a bunch of like, I don't know, like just in Mexico, because he's not from here, he's from Mexico, but he has so many different like, this is what herb you use for like this, and like so many different recipes that we never even think of that actually work. You know, like
Welcome to the Western world.
even like the whole egg thing, like when you break an egg and rub it on your body, like it actually works to some degree. And like if you did that back then, you were a witch. So like anybody that had knowledge of anything that worked that wasn't medicine died, and that completely isn't a thing anymore in the United States. And I think it's more because they want to promote the pharmaceutical and doctor aspect, and that's why it's so expensive too.
Oh yeah.
Even before like pharmaceuticals and stuff, it was more about
Jesus.
well, not even like Jesus, just more like we need to assimilate you to being
Conform.
You need to conform to what we are, and we don't agree with what you're doing, so we're just going to destroy everything you believe in, which has lost us a lot of information over the years, especially with native cultures, because they made it so far with what advancements we're finding that they actually had.
Yeah.
And good old conquistadors were like, you have gold. Say goodbye to your culture.
Can you imagine being the medicine
Why are they Russian?
tribe during the Salem witch trials?
Yeah. Whalem.
What?
I can edit it.
Yeah. It's
That's
but the
why I have
thing, but the thing with the Salem witch trials is it's actually a lot more interesting. The whole witch trials thing was going on for like 500, almost like 1,000, roughly like 1,000 years. Basically, so here's another fun thing that I know is that
Salem witch trials lasted 500 years.
oh yeah, no, that's that was in specific for America. That didn't last that long. Like
Hold
the
on.
whole ideas of
But
like
think about
witches. Mm-hmm.
From like
Subjugating
say,
women and calling them witches has been like
the 90s to now is like how much we've progressed in like humanitarian.
Oh yeah, it's weird. It's really weird how we've all been like. It took us 2 world wars and we're like, damn, we're kind of fucking dicks.
Man, we kind of suck a little bit. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh no.
How much information we could have, like, because like I said, you could have just like baked something and they're like, you're a witch and killed you. Like, there's no experimenting.
Yeah.
For 500
Yeah,
years.
that's mostly due to the fact that like how it kind of how kind of modern like witches thing kind of works is that I forgot the guy's name, but basically he was a super hardcore like what we would consider like incel. And he's like, women are witches, bro. They have to be. And then everybody's like, no, that's not right. And even then, there's like it's kind of fucked up. But they had the printing press, and then everybody's all like, well, damn.
Yeah, it was
This is some
Facebook
crazy
back
ass
then.
gossip, and then it just kind of became gospel, and then all of a sudden women just like lost their rights, and everybody can be like deemed a witch, and then it's just all like heresy, boom, burned.
It always comes down to mass hysteria. If you can put fear in somebody's heart about another person, then they'll always attack that
Literally,
person.
look at this for an example. YouTube videos, we've all referenced them, and even though we don't even know the. Okay, so this is the weird thing I like being about a YouTuber. Sometimes I'll fuck up when it comes to my research or something I'm looking up, and like I mispronounce a word or I flip something I shouldn't have flipped around, and I don't fact check it. All of a sudden now there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people now thinking my wrong information, and now they're gonna tell their friends, and so on and so forth, and boom, now there's just this massive misconception chart. Yeah, and then just literally imagine that with the early printing press.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't just go like into the comment section and be like, hold on, I fucked up, my bad,
Sorry.
my bad.
But, I mean, back then though, I'm sure a lot of it was done purposefully.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They pretty much most of mankind has been spent manipulating the masses.
Yeah.
And it's like they say in Zootopia, fear always works.
It does.
And that is very true.
Some of my most popular videos are just trying to make people scared of fictional things, and it works.
That's the purpose of Halloween. Thank you, everybody, for.
I know. Honestly, we need to end this. I'm fucking tired. I want my tacos.
Alex is sleepy.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah. That really is what Halloween's all about.
We could turn this all around. I don't think that's what Halloween's about.
It really is.
Halloween's
And it's about
about
the harvest.
the harvest, and people would dress up back in the day, and they dress up as scary things to scare away evil spirits, and then eventually some
Christian guy made it
split
bad.
off. Some Christian guy made it bad, and then corporate America said,
Can be.
I don't know, but something that I always say, and this is a touchy subject, but I mean, there's always the yin and yang, and without the good, there is no bad. And it even says in the Bible too. But like,
Most
you can't have
religious
like I feel like
documents.
this is the time where death is celebrated because like they have I speak a little bit of Spanish, but I will always Dia de Muertos.
Dios de los Muertos.
Yeah, but
I
that's like
pronounced
the Day
that
of the
last
Dead,
word
and
wrong. My
they-
grandma's gonna get pissed.
They celebrate the death, you know, because there's life and there's death, and this is the time where you celebrate the death because the seasons are changing. And if you look at like even like spiritual, like spring comes along and it's everything comes to life and it's time for life, and Jesus rises and there's baby animals and stuff, and then summer comes, it's the peak of its time, and then fall comes and everything's dying, and Jesus dies on the cross, and
Then winter comes, and then it's like
is a
death.
thing, and then yeah, exactly, and then it's the rest time, and then spring comes again. It's just the cycle of like the literal actual sun, who's also the son of Christ. You know what I'm saying? But that's why fall is fall, and that's why it's spooky, because it's spooky because it's death, but death needs to be celebrated because
Didn't we
it's
talk about this in the
yin of the
podcast?
yang. It's the opposite of life, and without the death, you wouldn't have life.
Or was this a
So it needs
VC
to
Balance.
be celebrated. It needs to be recognized as well as its
Balance of the
sister
universe.
life.
No.
Take it away.
I think I did say it on a podcast, at least an earlier one. Where I'm like, where
Probably.
death is always in a bad. Yeah, we said it with Jarrett. Yeah, like
That's
death.
right.
Yeah, death isn't in a. What's that one picture where like
Oh, the
death is in white or something?
Yeah, Death in White or something.
Yeah. Life
Watch
and death.
the episode with Jared if you want to know about that picture.
Yeah, I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is a good point. And I feel like Halloween needs to be appreciated more, not as a corporate entity, but just as something to enjoy.
Burn the machine. The
Burn
system
the
must fall.
machine.
Someone sent me this link that was like Halloween is evil because some ex-Satanists said all this stuff, and they're like,
It's
let's
wrong.
not celebrate Halloween this year, guys, because it's like Satan's time, and we're not celebrating Satan.
That's not what Halloween's about,
It's just
man.
so dumb. The history literally is just you get gourds and stuff, and you're preparing for winter to come, and the people were like, "Oh, we don't want evil spirits to ruin our crops. Let's dress up and celebrate so the evil goes away."
Right,
Like,
it's so goofy.
it's literally anti-evil. How could you possibly interpret it
It's
as
the doom.
evil?
It's the doom guy of the seasons.
Yeah, it really is.
Like,
Rip and tear. The
Kill
whole-
the demons.
Even the slasher films, like we talked about earlier, the whole point of the slasher films is they're finding a way at the end to get rid of the evil.
Or it's like a message for about something else bigger, like literally.
That is true.
Chainsaw Massacre is just, literally just propaganda against the meat industry.
Yeah,
Good and evil intentions.
that is
Yeah.
true. Thanos himself proves this.
Is that a thumbs up?
Thanos.
I love doing that.
Oh man, but yeah, Halloween, great time.
What are we gonna do for
Hopefully-
Christmas?
We'll do something for every holiday. We'll buy a reindeer.
Dude, imagine getting a reindeer as like a podcast mascot.
Yeah. Well, any last words from any of you guys?
I'm gonna need a cool down period after this before I go to bed.
It's literally 2:00 in the morning. How are you gonna?
Ryan wants me to turn on SpongeBob.
Sleep. I hope so.
She stopped crying a while ago.
The whole upstairs could just be swarming with demons, and we'd never know.
Oh, guess what? I'm about to rip and tear.
Rip and tear.
BFG division starts playing.
Colby, any last words?
Who you been texting this time? A lady friend or no?
Yeah, Colby, very disrespectful. Untowards.
I was quiet though.
Untowards.
I was just on his phone this whole time.
No,
Yeah,
because a
hey.
PayPal transaction went through. I was actually women. Val's here, and she
I wasn't sleeping.
she's gonna spend the night tonight or what?
Honestly,
She has earmuffs. She's
I'll
like,
make a little doggy bed out here probably so Mariah's not scared.
Mariah's like, sounds like a good idea.
Alex, any last words you'd like to say?
I'm gonna fuck up some tacos.
My man
Now
is
go-
tired and hungry.
I'm
Yeah, he ate all this candy.
And scared.
But yeah. Hope you guys enjoy your Halloween. Stay spooky. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Don't be afraid. Scare off the demons.
Don't be afraid. You will be the
fine.
one who will open the door to the light. Is that how the saying? Is that how the quote
Just hold
goes?
a Bible with you, dude.
Anyways, thanks for watching. Stay spooky. Peace out.
Meow.